Look at me and tell me what you see.
I look at you and tell you what I feel. Look at me and tell me what you see. I look at you and tell you what I feel.
What's up, everyone? Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming here with another video, and it is a follow-up video to my recent string of Resident Evil live streams, my review to Welcome to Raccoon City. So view this video as more of a companion piece to Welcome to Raccoon City. Why? Because myself, my audience, my friends in real life, even followers on both my Discord have messaged me saying critics are being the stupidest they have ever been. I mean, we're not going to count the opinions of normies, because normies just like to watch dumb action a la Michael Bay Transformers films, so they really don't have a say when it comes to Resident Evil. Now, this movie has caused more of a war within the fandom, which is weird, because half the fans like it, half the fans don't. And I'm going to tell you what's going to be the future result if fans who have been asking for something that is recognizable to Resident Evil on screen, what your bitching and complaining is going to do to future films. Why? Basically, if people, aka Fandom Menace and critics, which are the same in my opinion, if they try to make this movie bomb or trash this film, you're basically telling the studio that you want more Alice films. You want more of that overpowered wannabe T-virus hussy with all these fucking psychic abilities that is not even seen in the games. Okay? I watched Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City about 3 times already. And I normally don't like a movie if I don't go to the second viewing. I watch it and get it over with. But the more you watch the film, and the fact of the matter is, Resident Evil 1 and 2's storylines, this even came from some Resident Evil fans that tell me this on my Discord, they're short. What makes a Resident Evil game long that you can't do in a film? Backtracking, puzzle solving. And if you really just look at the cutscenes from classic Resident Evil 1 and 2, those cutscenes accumulate to only 45 minutes apiece. So, I didn't have a problem fusing the two together. You know, I don't have a problem with them leaving out essence of Resident Evil 3, because they already butchered Resident Evil 3 in Resident Evil Apocalypse the movie. I'd rather take William Birkin, who's a more faithful representation of his fucking character, than a pussy-whipped nemesis that fights for the side of good because he was the guy from the first movie, or whatever the fuck they wanted to call it. Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City is not bad like everyone says it is. I'm going to call it right now. If somebody's review automatically says it's bad, they're just doing it for clicks and monetization. That's all it really is. Clicks and monetization. Okay? A video game movie, especially one like Resident Evil, I'm going to smack all you guys with fucking facts and reality. No video game movie is going to please every fan. Okay? Because here's the problem with fans. I even have this problem. That's how I'm going to say this. Fans have a problem when it comes to live action adaptations. Because as much as a fan says, I don't want to see a live action adaptation, you're a fucking lie. I'm sorry. You're a fucking liar. Because deep down, everybody does want to see what they love most get represented. Whether it be film, anime, video games, mangas, comics, etc., books, hell. You know, everybody wants to see their favorite form of media brought to different variations of a medium. And what is one of the main ways to put something in the limelight and on the scene? Films. For lack of a better word, and I'm going to call it for what it is, I love Resident Evil. But Resident Evil's fucking stupid. Okay? It's fucking stupid. But guess what? It's the most unique stupidity when it comes to zombies. Because at the end of the day, when you go into a zombie film, you know, not everyone can be George Romero. How about this, fans? How about this? Even I lobby for this right here. Why don't you guys continue to bitch at Capcom until they brought George Romero's script to the light? Because his script is on the internet. And this was the script that was been up for years before his passing. You know, R.I.P. George Romero, man. But his script followed the first game to a T. To a fucking T. Apparently, the people that read it behind it didn't like it. What did they chose? The fucking Alice movies. Where were the fans then lobbying for that? For a more accurate representation of Resident Evil 1? Because you know why? A Resident Evil 1 movie, I'm going to call it for what it is, it will be a boring zombie movie. Because we're just seeing the screen caps from the games. And I'm going to drop another fact upon you guys. After watching it for the third viewing, this movie draws from the canceled concepts of RE1 and 2. Specifically, Resident Evil 1.5, especially how they handle Leon's arc and Chief Irons' arc in this film. This is very much drawing from 1.5 with Leon and Ezla Walker. Even though Ezla Walker is not a character, her costume makes an appearance in later games as a bonus for Claire. But here, I'd rather watch something that is drawing from even the canceled concepts and official concepts of the game. And think about it, everybody, and I'm specifically talking to you RE fans here. It's not fucking canon to the game. What are you bitching about? Okay, we have the games. Seriously. Resident Evil, believe it or not, in my opinion, could be worth having on film, because if Michael Bay is allowed to make 5 shitty Transformers films, what is wrong with having cheesy, B-grade, over-the-top, horrific zombie action in a fucking movie? Or do the entire Resident Evil film series? There's nothing wrong with that. You know, not every movie's fucking Shakespeare. Not every movie is Gone with the fucking Wind, people. Okay? I'm getting tired of this shit when it comes to live action adaptations, because every time someone says something's bad, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of awful ones. I'm not gonna front you. There's a lot. There's a fuck ton. And I vouch for that. But in recent memory, that's been changing. And it doesn't seem like people really want to fucking acknowledge that. The only acknowledgement people give is Sonic the Hedgehog. But did you forget that Castlevania the anime, taking the game, putting it to a streaming service, making it to a show, brought it to a wider audience? Sonic the Hedgehog, it doesn't follow the plot line from the games. It was a fun film. That's all it needed to be. Mortal Kombat, same shit. It just needs to be a fun film. And Mortal Kombat has a lot of dense lore that stupid ass casuals are not going to fucking understand. Okay? So they had to dumb it down enough, unfortunately. Because, gamers, when it comes to our medium, you know, not everything that we like in a game can translate well to a film. Alright? I hate using that word, normies and casuals, but when it comes to shit like this, I gotta fucking use it. Okay? I think when it comes to a video game movie, critics and normies should not have a say in a review or thoughts on it. It should be solely left to the opinion of the fans. And a genuine opinion. Not an opinion, an overall opinion that everyone has. Because I notice on YouTube and Twitter, every fucking form of social media, everybody's groups work like a fucking hive mind. Okay, not everyone's, but the way people follow other people, it's a very hive mind mentality. Oh, my favorite subscriber says this sucks. Even though I didn't watch it, I'm going to say it sucks. Why? You're giving that person power. You're giving them money. You're giving them the clicks and the monetization, whether they mean it or not. Because I noticed there's some people that review the movie, they feel guilty for liking the movie. Okay? The best way I can describe the movie, and you know what? I don't give a damn. I will watch another Resident Evil movie like this. Why? You remember the opening cutscene to RE1, everybody? Does everybody remember that? Huh? Do you remember the live-action Resident Evil 2 trailer? I think Resident Evil 3 got one too. Imagine if you took those and made a whole movie inspired by those cutscenes. That's what it feels like. So if somebody wants to tell you that this movie is not RE, I'm sorry. As long as the Alice films exist, you can't critique this film in that same manner. Okay? People say, oh, make another Alice movie. Here's the problem. Those movies fucking bombed after the first 2 films. 1 and 2 came out pretty much back to back in less than a year from each other. I think year and a half. How long did it take Extinction to come out? How long did it take Afterlife to come out? How many years did it take before Retribution came out? Before the final chapter came out? Because they had to reaccumulate all that fucking money. Okay? That's what they had to do. Like, shit, I shouldn't be telling people these things, but people are so fucking retarded. Even fans are so fucking retarded. It's not even funny anymore. You know, they just don't want to admit we're so used to having such a negative culture towards live action adaptations, and when you have, you know, basically dick sucking ego filled people like the Fandom Menace, and you have journos who are supposed to be their enemies, but really they're no different than one of fucking each other. So at the end of the day, live action adaptations are starting to creep up on everybody. They're creeping up. Dynasty Warriors. If you haven't watched that on Netflix, I recommend you go watch that now. That is a really good adaptation of the games. And I'm looking forward to certain adaptations because there's certain movies. People can say what you want about the Warcraft movie. That was a good movie. Again, you listen to the critics. Critics say it's bad. If it's not supporting the message, of course every critic is biased against everything that doesn't appeal to them. Why do you think we get more shitty live action Hollywood produced films instead of actual original content? And it comes from both sides. It comes from both critics, casuals, and fans. Okay, and the studios. You know, I'm not going to play the blame game and just point it on one side. It's everybody's fucking fault why certain things can happen. Okay? Why is our culture so used to thinking that adaptations suck? Well, because, yeah, we've seen a lot of shitty ones, but we're too stupid to acknowledge the good ones. And when you do, and when your opinion doesn't match another person's opinion, you're automatically wrong. Most of what I've seen reviewing this movie is just confirmation bias. One person's like, okay, I gotta say it sucks. I have a lot of subs. Okay, I gotta agree. This movie sucks. Even though you can see begrudgingly that these people say it sucks. And I noticed the people that says it sucks don't even show their face, because I noticed I seen one person review the movie and they said they were enjoying it. They looked happy and enjoyed the film, but then at the bottom they were being trashed in the comments at the end of the day. Makes me wonder why YouTube really removes the dislike button. Because everybody by nature are assholes, idiots, and dickheads at the end of the day. Okay? A lot of people on YouTube, when they review, they don't review with their head, they review with their heart, and that's the problem. They're going into it with an emotional level and an attachment to the brand. And for one, you're going into a Resident Evil movie with high expectations. I noticed that. Who the fuck goes into a Resident Evil movie with high expectations? If you do that, you are the biggest fucking idiot on this planet. Okay? Not even Captain Planet Don Cheeto could save your ass, if this is the case. Okay? And look, I know my words are rough, but I gotta call it like it is. Most of the critics, most of the casuals, and I would say 45% of the fan base are being fucking retards when it comes to this movie. You wanted something recognizable. You wanted something. I'd rather take this movie, which I want to say only does 45, maybe 30% changes to the background, but everything else is ripped straight from the game. Okay? Yeah, things are changed around to make it feel unique and different, but that's what every adaptation. Remember, what works in a video game, what works in a book, what works in a comic, what works in a manga will not always work on the big screen. And you know why? Movies like this continue to prove that most of the reviewers out there are idiots with sticks up their fucking asses. Okay? That's all I gotta say. This is Emperor John Kill 3 Gaming. Be sure to like, subscribe, favorite. Keep an eye out on my next stream, and I'll catch you on the next video. See you later, guys.